Warning, the content on this podcast is both highly adult and potentially enlightening. Please do not listen if you're not, emotionally 25, physically 18. Thank you. Welcome back to Orgy Story, a narrative-based podcast about hosting, attending, and destigmatizing orgies. I am a host, Kevin. With me, another host, Vicky. Hello.
Hi.
It's not orgy season currently.
It's a bit cold.
There's we've been eating a lot, it feels like.
A lot of eating, a lot of drinking, feeling a little bit bloated.
Look, none of that is anyone else's nonsense. Look, it's not orgy season. It's just what we're saying. We recorded something that did transpire during orgy season that we wanted to share with you now. And when I say that this was difficult to name as an episode, I don't even know how we intro it.
Yeah, I think you guys are just going to have to listen to it and see what you guys think. And let us know if we were being the right amount of judgy or too judgy.
That's a good call. We want judgment on our judgment. we want to know, do you think we should have shifted it into sixth gear with the judgment?
Or not judgy enough.
Hey, y'all didn't stay in second gear long enough. Like, whatever you think, we're curious. As always, join us on Instagram, Orgy Story, Gmail, orgystorycast@gmail.com. We love you. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Let's do it.
All right. Hannah uses the podcast to flirt. Take one.
To flirt and recount her most favorite sexual experiences.
So excited to hear this story.
I'm going to go ahead and categorize this into
I'm not helping at all.
Some
you
of
have to
my
drive this whole thing. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to hear about this.
I'm going to go ahead and categorize this as one of my most favorite sexual experiences of my recent past.
How recent? Give us a year range.
2019.
1 year.
One year.
1 year.
Half a year.
No.
8 months.
Oh, you know what? Shit, you guys.
It's
That might be a little dramatic. Okay. Of the past couple of months, this was definitely a highlight.
It's orgy season.
It
There's
is-
tough
it
stuff to get
is
to.
orgy
but
season.
This is...
As everybody hopefully knows by now, I definitely have a sort of bisexual male fantasy, and the story I'm about to tell does not involve two bisexual men. I would call them heteroflexible. But it was my first threesome experience where I am the only female. And so that gave me a lot of privileges in terms of being pleasured and giving myself permission to just kind of let go and be pleasured. But we will get to that later because this story has a hilarious twist.
I feel like you gave a lot of directions. If I know you the way I know you.
All right.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Hey, you.
Did you have notes just like written down like a screenplay?
I was like,
here's a diagram of my clitoris. You're like, honestly, a football
Stage
coach when it
right,
comes to sex.
dude.
Like,
No,
you give them a whole
right.
playbook.
these guys knew their way around my clit, okay? And they also knew...
After a short 45-minute intro lesson called Hannah's Clit, which she conducted at the bar.
I did bring laminated worksheets. No, seriously, they were great. They had clearly done this before, which is part of the story. Are you ready?
Oh,
So ready. I've poured myself a glass of wine.
we've been
We're
hearing
all
about this
set.
over text for a few weeks.
So the story starts with me exploring on our favorite polydominant app, Field, sponsor us. And
I will keep beeping you out until you sponsor us.
And I had spoken to this boy, Noah, and he was a lot of people might know that they may not know, but I enjoy myself a good Jewish boy.
Awesome.
They
You
know what?
Here you go.
Hashtag me. No.
No. Terrible. Love it. Vicky does also. Hashtag Vicky does also. It's a way different
As soon as I
message.
said it, bleep that out. Sorry.
I'm not bleeping any of this out. This is the best. Hashtag Vicky does also.
hashtag same.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Yep. Everyone's there. Everyone's in on your camp. We're all on board. Is correct.
Okay, so Noah was a blonde Jewish boy who was interested in me. You guys need to pull it together.
We're pulling it
I'm
together.
pulling it together.
Noah's a blonde Jewish boy. Sounds got
so
it.
ashamed of myself.
Heard
right now.
the story before.
So Noah is a blonde Jewish boy who him and I had gotten talking on
On the app.
had been speaking to each other on the app. I had given him my number and
where are you?
in Denver.
Oh, in Denver. Okay.
What do you mean? Oh yes,
I wasn't sure if you were back home.
He
You
lives
recently
in-
took a long
he-
trip back home. Sorry.
Oh right, yes.
Sorry, my bad.
He lives in Denver, and we hadn't met yet, but I had given him my number, and we had been texting a little bit. And I woke up on the day before I traveled home to a text from him that said, "Hey, are you interested in a threesome?" And I responded, hypothetically, yes.
Your phone auto texted before you even had the chance. It was like, I
Hypothetically.
know Hannah.
Well,
yes.
So I said, hypothetically, yes, but I haven't met you before. I'm still trying to be safe, give me a few more details. And so I made him send me some pictures before I get to that, he told me the background and he said, my best friend is in town. And my best friend from childhood is in town. And we have been getting up to quote unquote shenanigans, as he said it, since we were 15. And so
Ew.
I immediately pressed him on this. And he said, yeah, we fucked our first girl together when we were 15.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. They both lost their
Shenanigans.
virginities together?
Oh, no, but I like where your head's at.
Oh, damn. Sorry. No, I'm with her. I thought that's what you were saying too. I was like, these two are close.
Oh, they are close.
They were looking at each other when they lost their virginity. Wow.
No, I
that's
was
friendship.
imagining like an
I thought I
Eiffel
had
Tower
friends.
situation.
I do not have friends.
No, so the story goes where they had told me this later that Noah had visited this other boy, Jacob, and Jacob was dating this girl and they were all hanging out, and Noah was the first one to suggest that they all just join in the fun together.
Excellent.
And then they brought this girl back to their fucking shed in the backyard and like double teamed her for a couple hours when they
Outside
were
of the shed
15
part
years
sounds
old.
romantic.
Like, what were you guys doing when you were 15 years
That.
old?
I was doing that approximately.
Okay, so to continue the story, Noah and I are talking. He says,
But without any friends.
him and Noah and Jacob have had quite a bit of experience doing double teaming women.
Obviously.
And
It's not something you cavalierly walk into that morning.
Right.
They had a plan.
Right, they had a plan. And Noah made it clear that that plan could include me today if I wanted. And so he sent me some pictures of him and his friend, and I was like, interested. And so we met at a brewery, and we immediately got talking, and I was attracted to both of them immediately, and they seemed very close. And not only that, they both described themselves as heteroflexible, meaning like they weren't. I asked them if they were interested in hooking up with each other, and they said that they weren't, but they also
Did they? Hold on. You have skills. I'm interested in what your
Kevin?
intuitive said here.
see
What
Kevin.
was your intuitive saying?
Okay, so Kevin, this is actually quite a lovely bit of foreshadowing because this is part of the twist.
Awesome.
So they said that they weren't interested in hooking up with each other, but
Retract previous question altogether.
Yeah.
Pretend you didn't hear it, Orgy Story audience.
they said that they were not interested in hooking up with each other, but that they both identified as hetero-flexible, if you will, that they prefer hooking up with women, but that there may be a man who could sweep them off their feet, and they're open to that.
And they're not like against seeing each other,
They,
Doing that
another dick
business.
in the
right,
mix.
and that is basically what I was trying to gauge during our first drinks together. Like, am I setting myself up for a situation where you two will be made uncomfortable with another dick in the room? And I already knew that because they had been in this experience before, that wasn't the case. But I have been in situations like that before, and wow, what a turn off. So I was dotting my I's here,
Guard was up.
crossing my T's. Right. So
Sign the bisexual contract at line D. Initial if you're interested in bottoming. So I'm fully
I'm
aware.
also gonna say hashtag Vicky too.
I think hashtag same covers it. So we basically, within the first 2 drinks, we had all established that we were absolutely going home to Noah's place to fuck. We were.
Was it 2 whole drinks or?
Yeah, it was. And
Right.
I found a sour that was 8 whole %.
Oh, so,
Oh.
what a-
So I had
damn,
2 of
that's a helpful
those.
detail.
I had 2 of those, and I was feeling excellent.
16% ready for.
16%.
Right. 16% out of like 16%,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So we went back to Noah's apartment, and side comment, he lives in the same apartment building as one of my best friends. And so his apartment layout was the same exact layout as one of my best friends, and it was kind of trippy. But so we went back, and he actually helps produce music. So he is an excellent artist and was playing some really sexy electronic music, and doesn't help that it does help actually, is the point, is that he has a 10-month-old puppy that was running around. It was very cute.
25% of our audience was like, oh, sexy electronic music. If only I'd heard the sexy version. Got it. Yeah. How intoxicating was that 16% is no one's business, but sexy robot music was playing in the background as a puppy ran around.
So at this point in the night, I ask them, by the way, how do you guys know each other? And they told me that they met at Jew camp when they were 10 or 11, when they were younger. And that was that. And I took their word for it. But over the course of like our first, our little, like over the course of the next conversation, they had mentioned, they found a way to slip into conversation that they had known each other since birth.
So they
So
met.
I
Hold on.
cataloged.
What?
I took it upon.
There's a lot of things to
So
digest about everything you just said.
I took it upon myself to catalog that little aspect, that little tidbit of information. In
I
the
call
back
it
of
Jewish
my brain.
camp. Anglo from Kansas. Can't help it. They known each other. Are you going to get to a familial implication?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, then we're good. Then we're fine.
So
It's an Orgy Story commercial for Orgy Story.
Orgy Story.
Follow us on Instagram. We are loving interacting with you. We're in so many countries. This is great. Tell a friend. 5 stars on iTunes. We have gotten ranked in the how-tos, which is absurd. Thank you. Tell a friend. Season 2 is coming.
we end up fucking for 3 hours. It was so lovely. I have never been the center of attention like that
3
before.
hours.
And it was so incredible. Well, I mean, when I say 3 hours, I mean, like, that obviously is because they both came pretty fast. And then I was like, okay, so this will not do. And you will have to fuck me again, and probably again.
Hey, do not come with your weak shit at Hannah. She's not interested in it. She's going to tell you to turn around and take your stuff and take a deep breath.
Come as
have
you
a
please,
sandwich
but be ready
and
to
get
like.
your ass back in here. Which is why it's like the idea of 2 guys being at your disposal. It's like, mother of God.
Okay,
this must have
listen,
been
I have the
amazing.
stamina for 3 hours. You best believe that I am going to bring stamina out of others that I am with.
Damn right. Especially 2 guys in this opportunity.
Right.
There's been multiple metaphors I've used, but you are a cheetah in this situation. You are the hippo,
Thank
except in a
you.
beautiful frame.
Hippo is maybe
Hippos-
not where I would have gone.
Hippo's not in the best frame, but they're very agile.
What?
You're in a way better frame.
I think we're gonna need to edit that one out too.
The hippo thing? I'll keep the cheetah and the hippo thing. It's a hybrid
A hybrid cheetah hippo.
chippo. Very interesting. So
Guess that's my
give
name
me some
now.
statistics here. Okay, well you've been alluding to a twist, but tell me about the sex. Are they playing? Are they hooking up, or is it just
So-
we're gonna rebound after round 1 and give it to the H-Town?
So when we were, it was all give it to the H-Town. The theme of the
whole
whole thing
sitch.
was give it to the H-Town, and that was just
Perfect.
incredible.
Okay.
I'm
But
not wet at all
when-
right now.
But when we were, Vicky is truly wet. So when we were at Beers, I had asked them, what's your relationship to fucking each other? Like, I had already asked them, like, because like we talked about, I was not about to set myself up for a situation where they were going to be uncomfortable by each other's dicks. And so they made it clear to me that they were not interested in fucking each other, but I definitely got the sense that they were comfortable. And that was really all I cared about. Hey, that meant to me that I will be the center of attention, and I was all for it.
Yeah. Deeply.
Also because, like, to be transparent, that's not a normal role I play. I take pride in myself for, like, I'm pretty bossy sexually, and I know what I want, and I know what I want to see, and I'm communicative about that, and this was a very different type of situation. I mean, I still bossed them around when I sometimes, but it was mostly just them both doing whatever they wanted to me, and me feeling like Vicky said, you know, this with the famous line of 3 strategic men strategically placed around her for her pleasure. It was 2 men placed around me for my pleasure, and it was very intense, and I loved it.
To me, it takes 2 to 4 men to please 1 woman adequately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If we're just being honest about the sexual relationships,
Right.
That's what it takes.
I am a person who really loves kissing, and you could probably make me come by just kissing me for an extended period of time.
Now we know.
And
We've tried so much. Toys. Magic spells.
All we just
That one
need to
time
do
we
is
visited
increase
that
our kissing
magician.
stamina.
okay, Orgy Story
We should have just
Hypnotist.
kissed her deeply.
Orgy Story audience,
I thought
listen
maybe
up.
like an acupuncture therapist.
We did not see a magician. We did. That is absolutely not something we
You
did.
tell Dr. Peters that's not what he is. All right, here we go.
So it was pretty great. So we ended up having sex for a couple hours. I left. They had something to do up in Boulder that night. We ended up deciding to get brunch the next morning.
And that's where they had sex? Because
Kevin, you got to wipe that idea out of your head.
damn it, I'm so sorry.
This story does not end with that twist.
Cool.
Okay.
But there is still a twist coming.
The
All of a sudden, I thought we were past the twist. I was like, did I miss that the twist was
Did
just
we
that
miss
they've
the
known each other a
twist?
long time? Or
No, the twist is still coming.
So we're
Cool.
at brunch.
So we're
we're the night before in Boulder. I don't know where we are.
no, so the night has ended.
We're at brunch.
The night has ended. The previous night has ended where after we've had sex for 3 hours. And then I go home, whatever I do, it's not relevant. And then I see them the next morning.
Oh, we are at brunch.
Yep, we're at brunch. And then
Kevin looked at me like I was wrong.
fuck brunch, Vicky. Get with the program.
What happened that night? Oh, nothing? Got it. Awesome.
So the twist comes from the next fast forward to when we are back at Noah's apartment fucking again.
Post brunch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So post brunch, we are.
It's not germane, but what did you eat for brunch that you were like, I can roll this right into a sexual threesome? Were you like, I'll have the vegetarian option, or
So Kevin, this may surprise you given the Jewish nature of this podcast. Bagels.
That's a lot of carbs, though.
but I get
I
it.
don't-
It's
But
okay.
no, there's
I
nothing
think
greasy or meaty in that
That's
business.
true.
This is
We were-
pancakes,
we
not
were-
sugary. I'm with you. Sorry.
We were all
Asked and
still.
answered.
We were all still. We were all very turned on. I made it clear that I wanted to fuck them again because here's the other point. Noah's friend Jacob was visiting until this night, so we only had these 2 days to be able to get out whatever we wanted to, and. Also, like, I was super into this friend who was visiting. Like, I definitely wanted to see him again before he left. He's from, like, fucking across the country, so.
Where?
Okay. Minnesota.
Ooh.
Across some of the country, not a
Okay,
lot
but
of
still,
it.
that seems far away,
Okay,
don't
sure.
you think?
It's like a 2 hour, yeah.
I dated someone from Minnesota.
So, we are fucking. We are fucking, and at the risk of sounding crass,
I had a dildo used on me in Minnesota. You want to do this? You want to do this? You go ahead, Anna. Sorry. She had to briefly one-up that situation.
I was in. Nope. Keep going.
do I have the floor?
Yours.
Yes.
It's all yours.
Your floor. Sorry.
All right. The twist is coming, my friends, because we are fucking post-brunch. Noah had let me know that he wanted to experiment with some ass play. So here I am.
My favorite words.
Here I am experimenting with some ass play. And this sparked a situation where his friend Jacob was clearly uncomfortable with what I was doing.
Well, were you fingering him?
No.
Toying him?
No.
Rimming him?
Yes.
Awesome. This was a fun. I'm glad I had to guess it on the way there.
So that happened, and I couldn't help but notice that there were some situations where they really enjoyed watching what I did to the other, and there were some where it just could not have been more of a turnoff. For example, they almost exclusively, when one of them was fucking me, one of them requested that I start blowing the other one, and it was very clear that that was a turn on to them, like being one of them fucking me and watching me blow the other one. Like that was something that was very expected and that they both loved. However, this situation could not have been more different, and they both got a little, not only uncomfortable, like just a little giggly. Like it wasn't like we were all comfortable enough with each other at this point to where it wasn't awkward. They just got giggly, and I couldn't help but notice it. So we all kind of like collapse in giggles, and I made the observation, like it is very interesting to get to know you two and see what turns you on about me doing, what I do to the other. It's interesting to see what turns you on, what doesn't. And the situation kind of turned into like, oh, you guys are clearly so close. Like, I want to know more about your limits with each other.
You're not a subtle woman.
I think the twist is coming up.
Dick grabbing. She's like, tell me your secrets. Looking them in the eyes. All right, you two. Let's figure this out. She's like straddling the bed, grabbing both dicks. It's like, we're going to do this.
So they both again start giggling, and they look at each other and they say, should we tell her?
Oh, God.
And I'm like, obviously you need to tell me what the fuck is happening. And here's what happened. They said, our mothers are sisters. We are cousins, and you have just fucked cousins. Kevin and Vicky are nodding slowly.
It took a familial twist. I knew it just felt like it earlier. It felt like it had. I fucked my cousin all over it. I guess I'm semi-relieved. I will tell you I'm semi-relieved. Hold on. I have my hand up. I thought it was going to be weird twins. So glad it's not. Feels semi.
It could have been brothers. I mean, if any of our Orgy Story audience out there has watched the HBO series High Maintenance, this series started this year with the season premiere opening was a sort of documentary of.
Stop talking about that show, Cousins.
Shut up.
I have to interrupt you.
Okay, no.
I'm not against this. I'm not against this at all.
No, but this is a relevant story. In the High Maintenance season premiere, a woman fucks two men, and they are fucking all day, all night. They get delivered weed. Like, that's the point of the story. And then at night, one of the men is talking on the phone to his mom and in front of the woman, and he goes, yeah, he's right here, and passes the phone to his brother and goes, mom's on the phone. And so then it pans over to the woman, and she is like, holy shit, what have I done?
Cool. One of them's fiction, though, right? Like the one you're describing right now?
Well, yeah, but I came into this situation having watched this episode, and I was almost going to bring this up during beers and be like, are you guys fucking me over here? Are you brothers?
Is your mom going to call? And they were like, no, our moms
might call.
How do you feel? Any different, or you fine?
So actually, here's another twist. I most likely would have fucked them anyway if I had known that before. However, Orgy Story audience, it's always encouraged to bring up these details before sexual intercourse.
It is phenomenal. It certainly links together some things.
I have a look on my face. I wish you could see it. It's of sheer horror.
So this was a learning experience. It's honestly just makes for a hilarious story.
I need to pour myself more wine.
I'm still into both of them, and like now we should go back and listen to this episode and like hear all of the comments you guys made about like making sure that they are not interested in each other, because that could not have been made more clear to me.
So
they were not interested in each
So
other.
they're not
Yeah,
so much
obviously,
hetero-flexible as they're just not into each other because they're fucking related.
yeah,
slash they are kind of into each other in a like not to be look. You don't enjoy watching people fuck that you're not at least semi-interested in a way. Like
That's true.
there's an element to this.
So I think that though could also just be familiarity and comfort. Like they had no interest in touching each other, and that is fine. But I think at a certain extent they did like watching someone that they were close with being pleasured, like, and that's fine with me.
Awesome. I mean, the genuine, like, there's an initial shock. So it's not that
Right.
crazy. I mean, especially in 2019.
I mean, at least they're not brothers.
Like, add a lot of
I mean,
Matrix
look at Gone
to-
with the Wind.
Perfect.
Ashley and Melanie got married and they're first cousins. That's fine.
There are a lot of Friends plots where people are cousins within that group. It's always weird.
So do you guys want to hear the final, less exciting twist?
Yeah.
But it's also worth noting. So they also then proceeded to tell me, I had a plethora of questions, as you can imagine, and they proceeded to tell me that not only does their family know that they engage in these activities together, it is a running joke
No.
in their
That's
family.
worse.
No,
That's
now I'm
worse.
out again. I want to be
That's worse.
super back in on the judgment train.
Nope. Back on the judgment train.
And I was like,
That's worse.
I was like,
Wait,
that's where
How does that come up? You know what?
Nope.
I'm thinking
Not on board anymore.
I'm thinking their mothers are like, yeah, we met them when they were two 15-year-olds doing this. It was super easy to tell. They were right outside. We saw them. Like this
I like
is
your
super
Brooklyn.
easy.
I like your Brooklyn Jew accent. It was super easy to
It was
tell.
just a Brooklyn accent. I want to be crystal clear.
I don't think that was
Fine.
just a Jew accent. Yeah. I think that's just a Brooklyn accent. This is more Staten Island, actually. But
So there you have it. I had my first threesome with two men. It was incredible. They ended up being cousins.
Damn
and,
it. Classic Hannah. Classic Hannah.
And here's maybe the
Two
main-
threesomes, by the way.
Here's-
If we're just like, unless we're saying within 12 hours, it's one. I don't know what the rules
We're
are.
not saying that. We're not saying that.
Orgy season it's the purge basically for sex. Like you can do whatever.
Apparently, fuck cousins is included in that.
And these guys knew that. They were like, hey, I know what you're thinking. And save your fucking judgment. It's orgy season, bitches.
it's orgy season.
And moral of the story, I would do it again.
We're going to seduce this Vermont girl and let her in on all of our family secrets.
Do not tell me you two are cousins.
I'm going to end this with one question to you. Did you FaceTime any family members while you were there?
I did not, and how dare you ask?
You've been listening to Orgy Story. Now you know what we know, and you can't unknow it. So welcome.
Wow. Kevin, wow.
What a circle journey. That thing took a lot of turns, all back to a place we predicted was coming. Props to Hannah Snaps. Let's give Snaps for sharing her story and giving a great glimpse into what's coming with season 2, which is just more. More interviews, more experts, more of your stories. What a format. Come tell us. I won't use come tell us.
CUM, tell us.
Don't. Damn it. Is that already taken on Instagram? Look, just come find us the old-fashioned way. Orgy Story. DM your stories. Or orgystorycast@gmail.com. We are wild at work. Almost for season 2. We can't wait. Orgy Story.